We understand that there is a developing, correcting force in nature that if we'll know how to draw it into our life, we'll be able to change our relations, and as a result, we'll have a better, much happier life. And today we'd like to understand, how do we do it? We understand that it's possible to do it only together with other people in a group. And of course, it's a special group with special characteristics that works in a way that we're not familiar with. And this is what we'd like to ask about. What is a group? When you say a group in which people work together, what do you mean? A group in our world is something irrational that actually doesn't exist. This concept doesn't exist in our world. Even though that you hear everywhere group, 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 but what the wisdom of Kabbalah means by the word group, it's something completely different. The whole of reality is one integral system, meaning all of its parts, traits, corners, everything is interconnected into one thing. Like our body, where all of the systems work together and are all interconnected, and this is why the body exists and works. I'm talking about an ideal body that's completely healthy. And if some system starts deviating from its corrected form, we understand that it's not necessarily that something's happening in a certain organ, but especially it's about the connection between the organs. And therefore, there is a holopathic approach to this. Doctors, they think only about a certain little organ, area, something that you have to correct, and all the rest isn't important for us. An eye doctor doesn't know about the ears, the ear doctor doesn't know about the kidneys, and so on. And this is actually the problem, that we're not relating to our body and to the entire reality as one mechanism. And the more we advance, we see that it is not so. Just like our world's becoming round, and we find that we're interconnected. Why? It's in accordance with our development, meaning the more we develop, even egoistically, we discover that we are in one system, all interconnected, and we have no choice but to see ourselves this way. And if we continue looking at ourselves as individual units, then as a result we'll reach a bad situation, separation, corruption, like what we feel today, to the extent to which each of us can reach anyone else, either through 5 people, like the 5 degrees of separation, or if we're talking about our world of business, our world of journeys, the different connections that we have, it's all global, it's all around the world. Our industry, trade, it's all around the world. It's global. But we, alongside with it, are not ready for it. Each of us is alone, on his own, a very big, discrete individualist, not willing to be connected, like we see that all the systems in the world are connected. Also, if we look at the stars, the galaxies, all the astronomical systems in the universe, eventually we see how all of these things are interconnected. Our advanced research tells us about it, that there's much beyond what we attain, but we can attain it because we think about these things not as a whole, not as something integral, and therefore we're not aware of the essence of the connection that exists between all of the parts of reality. Also, by nature, we can't connect sound with light, health with nature in general. Only now we're discovering that we're dependent on what's going on the sun, on stars, that our mood and our situation in general depends on different phenomena that happens in the universe, and this is something that we gradually discover. And in human society, we have no idea of how interconnected and interdependent we are, and the more separated we want to be, the more distanced we want to be from one another, the more harm we bring upon ourselves. And in order to give us an example of what exactly is the true reality, that's one system that is tightly connected on different levels with an infinite amount of parts and details that are all interconnected in a way that we don't understand even the tiniest bit about it. But specifically in human society, we have the ability to investigate it. And this laboratory in which we investigate nature as something unified is the group in which we can collect people and start teaching them to be together. And when they will really be able to come closer to each other, atop the ego, awakening within them the force of connection, revealing their connection, love towards each other, affection, then we'll start seeing between them special kind of connection, preferably for the men and women to be separately in order not to get confused by the issue of sex, preferably for everyone to be more or less of the same age, suppose from 30 to 40 and so on, and for them to also maybe have the same status in terms of their education and so on, so they'll better understand each other. The more the starting conditions are closer, the more similar they are, the easier it's going to be to bring them closer, to explain to them what is the experiment that we want to go through. And then we try to bring them closer, so that if they'll be able to come closer to each other, they'll get a prize, as always, because this is the only thing that a person understands, either reward or punishment, a prize or suffering. And then by that, we can bring them to connection, so much that they'll understand that if they're going for some big prize that's worthwhile for everyone, then it's beneficial for them to learn from one another how to get closer, how to bestow upon the strengthening of their connection, how each should subjugate himself towards the group in order to come closer to it, how to bestow good things upon the group, how to influence the group for the better, because here each has to show how much greater than everyone else he is, but in a positive way. And this way, we can cause them to advance towards connection. And there are many more things about this, for when they'll be able to come closer to each other, to really be with one another hours and hours, each and every day, then they'll start feeling that they have a kind of a mutual desire for connection, that they have a mutual force that can awaken them and influence them. They start discovering that besides everyone having their own individual egoistic desire with which they came to the group with, now they also have a mutual desire, and this desire is called the group. Before that, it was just a collection of people, but a group, it means that they form and shape and build something that doesn't belong to anyone in particular, but to everyone together. And that it's impossible for the group to remain as a group if they take out this new force that they have revealed. And that special force that they have attained cannot remain if they take any one of the members of the group out of the group. Meaning that we're all interdependent and all of them want to be connected such that they attain their mutual force called connection, the unified connection, and this force operates outside of them. It's higher than them. This force is a force that doesn't belong to anyone, but to everyone. Meaning by this, we truly form an additional force that didn't exist before, that only when the group unites, where everyone annuls their ego towards everyone else, and everyone really connects and only wants to cause good to each other, then by that they form a new force called the group, the one mutual force, and they start nourishing themselves by that one force, meaning that now, by this one force that they have generated between them in the group, they feel that they belong to this force, where they don't feel that each belongs to himself in an individual, egoistic way as before. This is if disappears from them. They don't want to acknowledge that. They want to acknowledge only this mutual force. Because by it, if there are supposed 10 people, then each is included of the 9 others. So he has a 10 times greater force than he had before. And in the 10, it's 10 times 10, so it's at least 100 times greater. But they go and multiply it and increase this mutual force. And then this mutual force, it's not an egoistic force. This is what's interesting. But it's an altruistic force. It's the force of mutual bestowal, because each came out of his ego towards the others. So by that we have created the force of bestowal, of love, the force of connection that's outside the person. It's a force that exists in nature outside of our ego. Suddenly, we have created a new creature. This creature is called man. Specifically, this is called man, and not the way each of us previously was, simply as a small beast.